Welcome to week 3 of On Top the Cage. We are back to our normal looking set. We do thank Teddy for being here, but as always, to my left, my co-pilot Dan. I am Ken. What you say?
A lot more room without Teddy here.
There is more room.
I didn't feel like I was like over here.
Yeah. He did just fine. We'll get to the results in a bit. We're going to do the beer review for the results.
He did just fine drinking.
Oh, he did. There were a few comments in regards to that. One of them said, someone should hide the liquor cabinet from Teddy before you start the show. I think that came from my buddy Ronnie. I'm not positive. There were a few comments. I promised my good friend Brendan from college a shout out. He says, you never mentioned me on the show. Brendan, here's your shout out. He lives in the panhandle of Florida, right on the ocean. An awesome little place he has there with his kids,
Lucky
his wife, his
bastard.
dogs. He's got a stud kid, quarterback. His name's Kalen. Good luck, Kalen, this season. I know he went to one of the Manning camps and things like that.
Oh, sweet.
He's
Is
a
he
good
in
player.
high school?
He's in high school.
Can he transfer up here? Because I know a private Catholic school that might be interested.
That would probably be Dan's alma mater, St. V. Alma mater of LeBron James. They pumped out a few good athletes in the years, for sure. That'd be awesome. Brendan, we got a spot right next door for you. In any event, I think those are the shout outs I do. Do you ever?
Yeah. My mom's birthday's today. Happy birthday, Mom. Love you.
Happy birthday, Stex Mama. That's fantastic. This weekend, have you got your pumpkins and your mums and things like that yet?
No pumpkins, just mums, and they've replaced pots that had flowers in them that look like crap.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We're not ready to put the pots away yet, so we have to have something in them.
We've had a pretty mild summer over here, and it's raining right now. My wife's flowers from the summer have flourished, so we're trying to replace those with mums, but she doesn't want to give up some of them and things like that, so we'll see how that shakes. But that's certainly...
Holy hell, the whole last week it's been 80 degrees.
It has.
Humid.
It's been like the longest stretch of heat we've had, and it's middle of September. Actually, the first day of fall.
I had to take the ice towels to our last football game.
Yeah. I hear you. How's your youth football team doing?
3-1, baby.
3-1. Dan usually comes over here right after youth football practice. He doesn't eat. He's famished. We've been feeding him hot dogs the last few weeks. The first week, my wife made one. He just absolutely loved it. It was an oven-baked hot dog. It was cut up. I think it had onions and cheese. Last week, he got a chili dog because I had made chili, I think, over Labor Day weekend. My kids are huge fans of my chili. We put a bunch of chili and cheese on top of it. This week, it is Bears-Browns week.
Oh, yeah.
He gets a Chicago-style hot dog, which I don't even like. You know what's on? You know what's on those things?
The pickles, fancy bun. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a poppy seed bun, which I don't even know where to find. You get a Sunbeam, I think. But there's a pickle spear, tomatoes, onions, celery, salt, and I think they call them sport peppers. I don't know what sport peppers really are. You get banana peppers in its place. But
perfect.
My wife's a fan of Dan's. I'm sure she'll accommodate the situation. We'll see how he does with this Chicago-style hot dog.
You can't beat a good tube steak.
We got to do the beer review before we talk about what happened last week. I promise you, I looked for a beer that said like loser and I know Masthead makes a beer called Worst Case Scenario. I wanted to try to find that beer. I couldn't find it. We went with the Joe Thomas beer. This is on the shelves. It's made from the Great Lakes Brewing Company, which is a
best player on the shittiest team forever.
Oh my God, they never won with him.
Never.
He's a great player.
I feel so bad for him.
And I feel like he's come a long way in his commentating or whatever he does on those shows.
NFL Network.
I don't even know what this beer is. What's Kolsch? Do you know what that means? Is that a beer? And what's the alcohol content? You have better eyes than me.
5.7.
5.7. We should be able to do this. What do we got? What's it taste like?
Tastes like beer. Nothing fancy there.
Yeah, that's like a Pilsner beer, regular beer. Anyway, whatever. I'm sure Dan and I will swallow it down. I alluded to it. We were going to do the beer review where we talked about what happened last week. And my buddy at the office, Matt, he has a saying, you owe. Well, Dan and I owe. We owe this week. Because last week things didn't go so well. Dan and I both went 4-11-1. That puts
holy shit, if you're listening to me, don't lose your house. It's a disclaimer.
Teddy went 6-9-1.
Yeah, listen to the drunk ass Teddy that was here.
More beer.
He was perfect.
The moral of the story is more alcohol, I guess. Teddy went, he did go 6-9-1. On the season, Dan is a miserable 11-20-1.
Coming back, baby.
I had a great week the first week. I canceled it out this week. I'm 15-16-1, just one game under 500. Dan and I did both miss our elephant picks. Dan and I were texting last night, and I'm like, I think you were watching a Notre Dame soccer game.
Notre Dame against Michigan. Hell yeah, I was watching it. Screw Michigan.
Screw Michigan is right. That's what happens here in our part of the country. I was watching the podcast. He's like, really? I'm like, yes, there's a certain point I want to get back to because there was a game. There was a point in the podcast last week where Teddy was thoroughly confused, and it was the Raiders and Pittsburgh game.
Thoroughly confused or smashed?
He picked the Raiders, then he picked Pittsburgh, and then he picked the Raiders again. But there was at one point I froze the thing. Dan's looking just like that, going, huh? I'm looking at the camera going, we need a timeout. Teddy's over there. He's like, what's wrong? But at the end, Teddy said, the Raiders are going to win the game by at least 7. I'll be damned if he didn't speak it into existence. That's exactly what happened. The Raiders won the game by 9 points. I'm going to rephrase that, though. He slurred it into existence.
Oh, yeah. Slurred it in there. But,
good for him.
Teddy, mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. He did well.
Mission accomplished, and you know what I'm talking about, buddy.
All right, on to the games. Thursday Night Football, the Carolina Panthers are 2-0. They came off a very impressive win against the New Orleans Saints. They play Houston, 1-1. Houston was a very game team in Cleveland last week.
Holy smokes.
The line on this game is Carolina minus 7.5. We just mentioned Carolina. I mean, Darnold hasn't really turned the ball over, hasn't made big mistakes, and they beat the Jets.
Hasn't done Darnold things yet.
Hasn't done Darnold things yet, right. They had a cupcake the first week against the Jets, but they beat what looked like a very good Saints team, at least the first week when they demolished the Packers, and they handled them. I mean, handled them well. Like I said, Houston was game in Cleveland, and outside of a Tyrod Taylor injury, that game may have went down the wire.
Yeah, Houston looked pretty scary playing my Browns, and I'll tell you, they're not the piece of crap that everybody thinks they are.
That game played right up against the Bear game, and I know that their third-round draft pick, Davis Mills, came in and played quarterback. What did you think of him?
His first drive, he was a little shaky, but what the hell? That's your first NFL game.
Yeah.
You got a full packed house. You might shit in your pants a little bit, but man, he settled down. He settled down and looked pretty good after that. Now you give him a week worth of practice. I'm taking Houston in this one.
Dan's taking Houston. I struggle with this game, and that's a big number. It's over a touchdown, 7.5. But I like Carolina. I mean, I like Matt Rule. I'm going to give the points on Thursday night. Dan and I are on odds at the first game. Started the 1 o'clock slate. The Indianapolis Colts in division go play Tennessee. Indianapolis is 0-2. They played a couple of tough games. They played Seattle. They played the Rams. Tennessee, they are 1-1. They laid that egg the first week against Arizona.
How do you twist both your ankles at the same freaking time?
Is that Carson Wentz you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, you get tackled and twist both your ankles? I mean, what does that picture look like? I'm like
crippled.
Thinking
I don't
a
know.
cartoon. Yeah, I mean, what, did they both go in or both go out or one go one way? I mean, what the hell?
I don't know. I didn't see that. What I did see was,
grief.
Indianapolis was certainly in that game against the Rams. They only ended up losing the game by 3, and they had multiple red zone turnovers. Ken, you want to turn off the TV back behind? I forgot to reset that. You want to do that? In any event, Tennessee, they come off that awesome win in
Oh, my God.
Seattle.
That's freaking insane.
They were getting smoked, and they got the last 17 points of that game and ended up winning the game. I mean, I love watching it. It was, all of a sudden, they wore down the defense, and it was Derrick Henry time.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stop him. I love watching Derrick Henry run. I mean, he runs over people, but he never seems to get caught, like when he gets behind people.
No.
He's got breakaway speed as well.
Fast.
He is.
As big of a man as he is.
It's a division game now. I mean, 5 points. I mean, Indianapolis has showed well. They've just lost to a couple of good teams. What do you think?
Tennessee.
I'm going to lay it 2.
Somebody stops Derrick Henry. I mean,
I'm going to lay it 2. -5. I'm going to lay it as well. Next game on the board, the Atlanta Falcons are 0-2. They go play the New York Giants. They have the same record, 0-2. Atlanta lost to Tampa last week. This line is the Giants -3. Like I said, Atlanta lost to Tampa last week. They have offensive line problems. They have a statue of a quarterback. I don't know how Matt Ryan's going to last the season.
he's not good. He's good for a turnover every game. I mean, I've never liked him.
I think he's a good player.
He's average.
I think I think he's better than I think he's a good player. But meanwhile, you have to have a good offensive line around him because he's not going anywhere. He's not getting out of the pocket. He's not going to. He's not going to create plays. You have to protect him, and he'll put the ball on point if he has time to do it. But he hasn't had time to do it all year. I don't expect that to change. I don't know who the backup's there, but I bet it happens sooner than later, and not because of Matt Ryan being a bad player, because he gets hurt. The Giants, they come up off a loss to the Washington football team where I think they got ripped off. I mean, it came down to a field goal at the end. There was a missed field goal, and then they called the Giants offsides. It turned out to be the wrong call. The field goal kicker banged the kick through on his mulligan and his second pick, or his second chance at the kick. Giants -3 in this game. What do you think?
Going with the Giants in this one. I'm not sold on Atlanta.
Neither am I.
Sorry, Teddy.
The Giants showed me enough offensively last week. I mean, they didn't look real good against Denver opening week, but they showed me enough last week against the Washington football team. I like them as well at the -3 number. Next game on the board is a very good game. The Los Angeles Chargers are 1-1. They play the Kansas City Chiefs. They also have the same record, 1-1. Chiefs are -6.5 in this game. Chargers. There's no team better at losing at the buzzer than the Los Angeles Chargers. They did it again last week.
Finish a game.
Dallas, Zerline banged a 56-yard field goal through the uprights as time expired. I feel like the Chargers lost like 4 or 5 games at the buzzer last year. I don't know.
At least.
It seems like it. Yeah. There's no team more adept at losing at the buzzer than them. Kansas City played that absolutely.
Where's Anthony Lynn coaching now?
He is the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, I believe.
That's what I thought.
I feel like I saw him on Monday night.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Kansas City, we mentioned they're 6.5-point favorites in this game, 1-1. They played that thrilling game against Baltimore. It was a great game. It was a fun game on Sunday night. It looked like Kansas City had the winning drive in hand. Edwards-Helaire put the ball on the ground. Baltimore recovered it. They made a gutsy call on 4th and 1.
Wasn't that his first fumble in the NFL?
I don't know.
First fumble. I think it was. I thought that's what they said on the broadcast, which is amazing.
I know it was a great game. I was a little drinky. I wasn't used to the Bears playing at 1 o'clock. They played their opening game at 8:20 p.m., which was just fine with my drinking habits. But when they play at 1 o'clock and the games are good, and that game certainly was, and things continue, it's a little bit fuzzy. Baltimore won that game. What do you think about this line with Kansas City -6.5 in division against the Chargers?
I like KC in this. They lost. They got something to prove. I'm not so. The Chargers need to be able to run the ball. They can throw it all over the yard, but they need to run the ball, control the clock. But I'm going with Kansas City on this one. At home, they just lost to Baltimore. They're coming back.
I'm not. I'm going to go with the Chargers. And I get where Dan's coming from, and he makes very good arguments. They never cover when it comes to the betting world. I mean, down the stretch, I think they didn't, like the last 7 or 8 games, they were favored by significant points. They didn't cover any of them. Down the stretch, I mean, I feel like they're the same way. They end up finding a way to play close games. I mean, they're expecting a ton of points in this game, and it could happen that way. I mean, the over-under on this line, this game is 55. But I'm going to take the Chargers in the 6.5 in this game. Next game on the board, the Cincinnati Bengals. They're 1-1. They go play in division as well. Play the Pittsburgh Steelers, also 1-1. Cincinnati comes off a loss in Soldier Field against the Bears. Pittsburgh, they had that impressive performance in Buffalo the first week. My brother-in-law's team, Tim, and his girls, they love this team. I mean, I remember texting him last Sunday night, like that was an impressive, or the previous Sunday night, that was an impressive performance in Buffalo. And they're kind of back to the old Steeler way, and they didn't look very good against the Vegas Raiders. Pittsburgh is the 3.5-point favorite in this game. Cincinnati, their loss in Chicago, I mean, they were in the game, and then Joe Burrow had a meltdown in the third quarter and completed 3 passes in a row to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Roquan
Smith.
The first one was returned for a touchdown by Roquan Smith, as Dan just mentioned. It doomed them. They came out with the L in Chicago. Pittsburgh, mentioned they won in Buffalo. The big issue with Pittsburgh right now is there's a report that Ben has a pectoral injury in his arm. That offense seems to be muted or it's not going anywhere.
Come on. It's Pitts Puke and Cincinnati Bengals.
They have a good defense. I mean, Pittsburgh does. What's up? Pittsburgh. What's up?
Come on, T.J. Watt went out.
Okay? I know he got hurt.
The announcer said it looked like it was a groin during the telecast, and then today I saw it was an ankle, and I'm like, wait, groin and an ankle? I mean, there's miles apart there. So who knows what's
division game? Pittsburgh.
Joe Hayden's out. I mean, he got hurt. There was like.
So you're saying the Pittsburgh defense may not be the Pittsburgh defense this week?
No. Some other dudes got hurt. An offensive lineman got ejected for something stupid. It's dumb.
No, let's pick this game. Who do you like in this game?
I got to go with Pitts Puke.
You're going to lay it 3.5? I'm not. I'm going the other way. I think this is going to be a tight game. I think outside of Chicago winning that turnover battle 4-1, they're probably fortunate that Chicago won that game, and there's a chance that Cincinnati's 2-0. I like Burrow. I mean, I like this to be a close game. I think it's a dangerous pick, but I like Cincinnati getting the hook in this game.
This is like, what do I want to wipe my ass with? Really hard toilet paper or somewhat hard toilet paper?
Charmin or loose leaf?
Yeah. A leaf or a dry leaf.
Dan's going to give it with the Steelers. I'm going to take the points with the 3.5. Next game on the board. We mentioned this Bears-Browns week. The Chicago football Bears do come to town. They play Dan's Cleveland Browns. The Browns are favored in this game by just over a touchdown, 7.5 points. The over-under is 46. The news out of Chicago, we just mentioned a second ago, they beat Cincinnati last week. The news is that Justin Fields will be the starting quarterback. It wasn't necessarily because he won the job, at least in Matt Nagy's mind, the head coach of Chicago Bears. Andy Dalton got hurt. He has a bone bruise on his knee. It probably looks to be like a 2-3 week injury. Fields up and down. His first game, as any rookie generally would be. He threw a bad pick late, but, I mean, his stat line doesn't really show how well he played, if you ask me. He dropped the ball in the bucket, a 35-yard touchdown pass to Allen Robinson, who dropped it, went right through his hands. Allen Robinson is a tremendous player in his, 4 years with Chicago Bears. I've never seen him drop that ball. In any event, his stat line would have been much better. Cleveland, they were. What do you think about your Browns right now? Obviously they played Kansas City, and then they played theoretically an inferior team in Houston. What do you think about the cumulative scene in Cleveland?
First of all, Sunday is Ken's 50th birthday.
This is my second 49th birthday.
So we'll be over here drinking because the Browns are playing the Bears.
That's 100% true. It is. I tell you what. But we'll stop for a second.
Why are we stopping?
Not stop, but my wife and they love birthdays. Birthdays are enormous events. That's not me at all.
I know it's not you, but everybody's going to be over here because it's your 50th birthday just to freaking annoy you. And I'm going to be over here ringing that bell.
When the Bears score a touchdown.
Score.
No. Hold
I'm bringing my own friggin' bell.
This is getting off the rails.
It's off the rails now, baby.
I'm going to tell you how much I don't like fanfare for birthdays.
Shit.
I've been at my current
50, baby.
I've been at my current position at our law firm for a lot of years. I don't know, 16, 17, 15, 16, 17 years. I tried twice
forever
to take my date of birth out of the system so nobody knew my birthday. It hasn't worked yet. But in any event, we're a little bit off track.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you, sir. Not yet. I don't want to be part of that club. Anyway, doesn't really. Age is just a mindset, if you ask me.
Whatever. What about this game?
Cleveland minus 7.5. What do you think?
Well, Fields didn't have practice because he was number 2, so he's going to get all the reps.
He had a whole full week this week. Yes.
He's going to have a full week. Defense is supposed to be good, but they look like shit. We have some injuries on offense. Jarvis, my favorite player for the Browns, leader, in my opinion, is going to be out.
He's out, I think, 3 weeks. They put him that mini IR
I don't know if
thing
they put him on that or not.
I think they did. It's like a mini IR thing where you're 3 weeks mandatory.
He's out. We seem to throw to the tight ends a lot. So Odell's supposed to come back this week, but
the team that looks so
stacked. I need Myles Garrett to show up. He hasn't been here in the first 2 frickin' games, so I need Myles Garrett to show up. Clowney's played. I mean, I've seen Clowney. Looks freaking awesome. I'm glad we got him. Myles Garrett, I don't know where the fuck you are.
On the opposite side of the ball, the Bears are the same way with Mac. Mac did get a sack last week, but he's been somewhat of a non-factor, like last year down the stretch, and certainly the beginning part of this year. With the Bears, I mean, obviously Justin Fields is a full week of practice. They're going to run some run-pass option stuff, RPO stuff, and there's going to be mesh point running plays, whether or not he puts the ball in the belly of the running back or Fields keeps it and comes out the back door and things like that. I like the Bears in this game to keep this game close. I would be surprised to see them come out of Cleveland with a W, but I like the Bears to get under this number of 7.5.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Browns to win, but not by that line. I'm going with the Bears in this.
Fair enough. The next game up on the board, the Baltimore Ravens. They are 1-1. They go to Detroit Motor City, play the Lions, 0-2. Baltimore has been installed as an 8-point favorite. Dan looked to the right. It looks like the wind and the rain's kicking up.
I don't know what's going on out there.
Obviously, Baltimore comes off that thrilling win against Kansas City. Detroit lost on Monday night, where they were very game, at least for the first half, against the Packers.
Yeah, no, I like how Detroit's playing. They're surprising me. They're in the games. Their golf looks good.
Dave's a huge coaching guy, and I think I referred to them when I think we were texting as the fighting Dan Campbells. I think he's changed that mindset. They do. They don't
totally
quit. They don't give up. I mean, it's a big deal with mentality and things like that. Obviously, they haven't had the results they've wanted in the first two games. I mean, they were right there against San Francisco. Their opening week, Detroit was. And they had the lead for the majority of the first half in that game. In Green Bay. Obviously, the Green Bay offense started to click in the second half, and they were kind of running.
Whoever made this schedule freaking brutalized Detroit. I mean, their first three freaking games.
San Francisco, Green Bay, Baltimore. Yeah, that's not a tough run.
Holy
who got
shit.
the opposite was Denver, and we're going to talk about them in a bit. But Baltimore, -8. You like the fighting Dan Campbells in this game?
Hell yeah. I'm not taking the Ratbirds. Screw them.
I am. It's Lamar. It's
Screw
Lamar
them.
and the potential for the huge play.
Nah, they suck.
I know they have a huge running back room problem in Baltimore. It's Lamar who touches the ball in every play on offense, who could potentially take the ball to the house on every play. It's the big play potential. I like Baltimore to keep it going. I'm going to lay the 8 points with Baltimore.
Detroit's going to gnaw his leg off and beat him with it.
Dan referencing a Dan Campbell quote from the offseason. That made me cringe, but I think he has changed the mentality of that team to not quit at least. Next game on the board, which I think is kind of a strangely fun game. The New Orleans Saints go play the New England Patriots. Both teams are 1-1 here. The Patriots have been installed as 3-point favorites in this game. The over-under is low, 42 points. New Orleans, what was that last week? I mean, they came off a beatdown week 1 against the Packers. And they went to Carolina and absolutely got their asses kicked.
I don't know.
I think it was 26-7 was the final or something to that effect. Jameis went back to being Jameis.
Yeah. That LASIX might not have worked.
Yeah, maybe not. New England, their performance, I mean, they beat the Jets last week, and everybody beats the Jets. I get it. They had lots of turnovers. Zach Wilson threw the ball to them 4 times. They're just a steady football team, and with a steady captain in Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I mean, they run the ball, they play fundamental good defense. They're just steady. I mean, Mac Jones looks pretty good. I mean, you run the ball and you get him in play action. You get him in down in distance, and you can do the play action.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you kind of nurture a quarterback, and I think they're doing well with Mac Jones. What do you think about this?
Jameis Winston going into Gillette with Bill Belichick there. You're done, buddy.
You on the Patriots?
I'm on the Patriots.
I'm going to lay it too with the Patriots. I'm gonna buy Dan's argument with Belichick. I really am. I don't know. I mean, I'm confused. I mean, it's a dangerous pick if you ask me, because I think New Orleans is a tremendously talented football team. But which team shows
He'll
up?
be showing crab legs.
What the hell does that mean?
You know, when he was stealing crab legs when he's at Florida State.
Oh, shit.
On the big
Holy
board there
cow.
at Gillette. They'll be
Damn,
flashing
from the past.
crab
Holy
legs.
Cow. Anyway, all right. Next game on the board, the Arizona Cardinals, 2-0. They go to Jacksonville. Of course, Jacksonville's 0-2. They stink. Arizona is -7.5. Arizona's very fortunate, though, to be 2-0. The game against Minnesota came down to the last play of the game. Minnesota missed the field goal right. Otherwise, they should have lost. But I want to talk about what happened here. If I didn't mention line, Arizona's 7.5-point favorites. But I saw a clip earlier in the week, the Minnesota radio broadcast. Obviously, you're not watching the game. It's the radio broadcast. And the Minnesota radio broadcaster It's up. The kick's good. Vikings win. And the color commentator's like, no, dude, it went right. We lost. like I can't imagine being the fan, like I'm of the Chicago Bears, to be a fan of the Minnesota Vikings, hear that, and then like 3 seconds later realize they lost. I mean, that's killer. I might have run off the road if I was in a car or something like that. And
that was like what the hell's the movie about the Indians here?
Oh, Major League.
Oh, yeah. Just a bit outside.
Speaking of that, you guys see Conor McGregor's first pitch at Wrigley Field the other day?
No.
Oh, dude. It went like 20 yards to the left. I don't know if you did. I don't know. It's almost impossible to do it. But anyway, that's off the track. Obviously, Urban Meyer and his Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence are going through growing pains.
Growing pains.
I heard a quote from Urban Meyer where he said, like, it's like we're playing Alabama every week. No shit. This is the National Football League, Urban.
What? What?
He said it's like we play Alabama every week.
Well, if Jacksonville played Alabama, I would hope they would beat them.
Oh, they'd be favored by 28 points.
Good grief.
If not 35.
What the hell?
That's not a contest. Hey,
an idiot.
When's the last time you've seen a college coach do well in the National Football League? I don't think we've seen yet. And it wasn't Belichick.
Matt Rule's been surviving. I mean, come
right
on.
On point. Way to go. Right on point. I was waiting for you to say something. I was going to say, how about the best college coach of all time, theoretically, Bill Belichick? Nick Saban, who struggled in Miami and things like that. But anyway.
Some of these guys struggle. I mean, they have total control in college. Here, you got a union, you got an owner, you got money, you got rules. You're not dominating a kid's life like you do in college.
It's a completely different scene for sure. Arizona's minus 7.5. What do you think about this game?
Arizona.
So am I. I'm with them as well. I like the big play potential of Kyler Murray, and I like their receiving core. Hop, obviously, there. Christian Kirk, and that Rondale Moore kid out of Purdue, rookie who was involved in the game plan last week and caught a touchdown. I like their explosiveness. I'm going to give the 7.5 points as well. Last game on the 1 o'clock slate, the Washington football team goes and plays Buffalo. Both teams are 1-1. Buffalo is an 8.5-point favorite. The over-under on this game is 46. Washington escapes that game against the New York Giants because they got a favorable call with the field goal kick and got the mulligan kick, and they banged it through and won. My question with Washington, where's that young defense?
I'm not sure what's going on with that defense. I'm a Chase Young fan, Ohio State kid. Put him at defensive end, let him play defensive end. When I watch those games, watch the highlights, he's running around the fucking field. He's not.
You want him in his normal spot.
I want him in his spot, and I want to play that spot. Not.
I mean, he can go right or left, but put him. You want his hand down in the dirt?
Yeah, he's like covering people and running around and chase. I mean, I know he can run dudes down. I think one of the highlights was him chasing somebody freaking down the field.
Sure, I mean,
but they're a mess. I don't know. Jack Del Rio is he the D?
I don't know.
DC?
I don't know. I don't know who the D coordinator.
Yeah, I mean that.
Taylor Heinicke.
I'm disappointed. Heinicke's playing good. I'm disappointed in the defense. I expected a lot more from Washington.
Dan and I talked a lot about the Washington defense, especially down the stretch last year, how good and young they were. I mean, it even showed in the wild card game against Tampa Bay. They were right there. They got a couple of turnovers. I mean, they were flying around. We haven't seen it through the first 2 weeks of the year.
I don't know.
We like Heinicke. I mean, he's got a live arm. He can run. Buffalo, once again, they're minus 8.5 in this game, over under 46. They come off a beatdown down in Miami, 35-0. They didn't have the greatest showing in the world week 1 where they lost to Pittsburgh. Are they back? Are they back enough to give 8.5 in this game?
No. I'm going with Washington.
So am I. So am I. I think it's a dangerous pick as well.
Washington betrays me every week, but I'm going with them.
I'm going to go with Washington as well. I think that defense is going to rear its head here at some point in time. It's too good. It's too young. It's too athletic. Dan and I are both taking the points, the 8.5 points on the Washington football team. All right, the New York Jets go out to Denver. Jets, of course, are 0-2. Denver is 2-0 off to their hot start. Denver, I don't know when the last time this has happened, but they're 10.5-point favorites in this game with a very low over-under of 41 points, which makes it tricky. This is the beginning of the 4 o'clock games. The Jets, Wilson, their rookie quarterback, going through some, growing pains. He threw 4 picks to the New England defense last week. Denver, you talked about the Detroit Lions having a very difficult opening schedule. Denver's had the easiest. It was the New York Giants, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and now they get the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, good grief.
So
this is their preseason.
Yeah, something like that. They're 10.5-point favorites. I mean, Bridgewater looks good. Cortland Sutton came back from injury, got involved last week. He was wildly involved. I think he had over 100 yards. They got a good defense. I mean, I think Chubb's hurt again. Von Miller's back, the veteran. They got players on all levels. What do you think about this game? Are you going to lay the full 10.5, or are you going to play the airplanes?
Yeah, I'm not playing the airplanes. They're a freaking mess. I mean, they're a disaster.
I'm not going
to. The coach, Saleh.
Robert Saleh from the Jets, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think before last year I told you in the morning I flip on CBS and CBS, Sports Network, and they got that Boomer Esiason and some dude named Gio. They're talking about, I guess, Kevin Harlan, who is the Westwood one.
Yes,
I love Kevin Harlan. It's freaking fantastic. If you listen to radio in your car, Kevin Harlan calling a game is dynamite. Him and Gus Johnson, best announcers.
We agree on that. Where the hell are we going with this?
But they're like...
Where are you going with this?
Well, the head coach, his family, he's got 7 kids. They're living in a hotel. They have 2 hotel rooms. The Jets coach.
Robert Saleh?
Yeah. Him and his family live in a freaking hotel.
What's that got to do with him? He likes to procreate. What are we talking about now?
It's a mess. Why would you have your family and 7 kids? You're the head coach of a football team living in a fucking 2 hotel rooms.
Oh, he moved to New York.
A hotel room.
Oh. I didn't even know where Dan was going with this. Apparently, obviously, the Saleh family moved to New York, and Dan doesn't like their living accommodations, apparently.
Well, dude, wait, when did he get the job? What was it?
I don't know.
Okay, let's say March?
Yeah, for sure, a long time ago.
Find a freaking house. Find a condo. If you don't like it, rent it and build. You're living in a freaking hotel?
They're on the road.
What the hell? You have 7 kids in a hotel?
It doesn't matter. I don't know why we're talking
about it. They suck.
I'm
going with the Denver Broncos.
I am too. You've heard me the first couple of weeks on the Broncos.
Dysfunction. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Fair enough. I mean, that's kind of been the norm with the Jets. My buddy Al loves the Jets.
They must be shocked because they left San Francisco and they're wearing Jersey or New York and no one's shitting on the sidewalk yet.
Here we go. We're gonna lay off that. I want to mention my buddy Al. I mentioned my buddy Brennan. He's a huge Jets fan, or used to be a huge Jets fan. I mean, they were good back when like Al Toon played and things like that.
Oh shit, yeah, that was good.
Maybe Kenny O'Brien. I don't recall all the players, but I remember him talking some stuff about the Jets. Anyway, we're both on the Broncos minus 10.5. They've had a soft schedule. I like them to continue their winning ways. I like their defense. The Miami football team, the Miami Dolphins, the in-laws team, they're 1-1. They go play the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 2-0. Miami came off that opening week win in New England. They looked pretty good. The big news out of South Florida is Tua's hurt. He's out like 3 weeks with a rib injury. Jacoby Brissett has that job for the time being. They got absolutely beat down by Buffalo last week, 35-0. I didn't see a lot of the game. I heard a lot of complaining from the in-law text strand. My father-in-law Tom and what the hell happened with my brothers, my step-brothers, my in-law brothers, whatever you want to call them. The Raiders, I mean, impressive win. We talked about Teddy calling that game. They went into Pittsburgh and they had control of that game.
Derek Carr looks awesome.
He does.
I'm telling you,
the Raiders look great.
He's fantastic.
The Raiders are 2-0. They're minus 3.5 in this game. The over/under is 45. What do you think?
Raiders.
I like it too. I still like the Dolphins. In-laws, don't jump off a cliff after that 35-0.
I like Dolphins too.
I think they're. What you like? Okay. They have a very good defense.
Those
Tua's
bunch
going to
of
be
freaking
back.
Norwegians killed like 1,400 Dolphins. Did you see that like a week ago?
I did see that.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
There's no reason for that.
Yeah. I mean, I understand if you're killing them for food, but 1,400 freaking Dolphins.
I completely agree. That's not overkill. This show.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there.
That's fair. All right. With Miami, I'm still bullish on this team. I think they're going to be in at least the if not the playoff chase, the wild card, playoff chase and things like that. But the Raiders, with that hot start, I mean, I think they're feeling it. They go back home to Vegas. I think it's going to be a pretty raucous crowd. There might be plenty of Dolphins fans here too. But I'm going to give the points as well with the Raiders minus 3.5. We're on the same page?
Yep.
All right, fair enough. As we continue on the 4 o'clock slate, Seattle goes to play Minnesota. Seattle's 1-1. Minnesota's 0-2. Seattle. They won week 1. They lost a heartbreaker, I guess, to Tennessee. It was a fun game to watch. They had control of the game, and then they did not. They gave up the last 17 points of that game.
That's pooping down your leg right there.
Lamar Jackson style, as Dan would like to put it. But what happened, and it was fun to watch, and I love watching this happen. Derrick Henry took over that game late.
Oh, yes, he did.
And apparently the Seattle defense was worn down. They could not stop Derrick Henry. Just give the ball to him 3 times in a row. He doesn't ever seem to get tired. The thing that impressed me about Henry so much, he just runs away from players, and he runs over players and runs away from players.
Yeah.
It impresses me.
For how big of a man he is so fast.
He is. He gets it going, and it takes a little bit. If he doesn't get hit immediately, you're in trouble. Minnesota, they are 0-2. They lost that game in overtime in Cincinnati week 1. They pushed the field goal right at the end of the game, the last play of the game in Arizona. They could very well be 2-0, not 0-2. But they're not. They're 0-2. Seattle's minus 1.5 in this game. What do you think, Dan?
Seattle.
Me too. It's the big play potential that Seattle has. Tyler Lockett seems to come week in, week out with like a 60 to 70-yard play. I like them to bounce back. I'm sure both these teams have a really bad taste in their mouth. It's not because Minnesota's division rival with the Bears. I'm going to lay the points with Seattle minus the 1.5. It's a short enough line for me. Last game on the 4 o'clock slate is a tremendous game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers go play the Los Angeles Rams.
This should be prime time.
It should. The Sunday Night Football game is up next. It is the Packers in San Francisco, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. But this is a tremendous game as well. As Dan mentioned, both teams 2-0. Tampa Bay is a 1-point favorite going out to SoFi Stadium to play the Rams. Tampa Bay, they beat Atlanta. They're a juggernaut on offense. I saw a stat earlier this week. I think they've scored 30-plus points in like 17 weeks in a row. I did see where Antonio Brown went on the COVID list today. He's a Tom Brady favorite, but obviously they have lots of weapons in regards to Godwin and Gronkowski and Evans.
How's he on the COVID list? Did he not get the shot?
I don't know.
Or is he not covering his cooties? What the hell?
What a
freaking
I'm
weirdo.
over all that.
He's as weird as Aaron Rodgers.
That's not true.
What do you mean?
Aaron Rodgers is weird. Antonio Brown is kind of a dick.
Well, he's a dick.
There's a difference between being weird and a dick. But anyway,
the dude's throwing
that's not
TVs
the conversation.
off of his freaking high-rise Florida freaking condo.
Who, Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dick
weird.
move. That's not weird. That's dick.
Well, okay.
Okay. All right, we're on the same page. What do you think about this game? I like the Rams. They won in Indy. I love Stafford, All
right, the Rams played Dallas. The Rams played
Indy.
Okay.
Tampa played Dallas, and then they played Atlanta. The Rams beat the Bears in the first game, and then they beat Indy. That's their schedule so far. What do you think?
I'm going with Tampa Bay.
I picked the Rams in week 0, our season predictions, to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to stick with them. I think they're going to beat the Super Bowl champs. Obviously it's almost a pick-em game. Tampa Bay's -1. The line doesn't really matter. You pick a team on this game. I'm going with the Rams to win this game. Dan's on the Bucs.
Yeah, no. Matt Stafford's going to play a real defense. He's played a bunch of pushovers so far. No.
I'm a fan of Stafford. I've seen him in the Bears division for many years. He played on a lousy team. He's a player. We're going to see what happens. It's a fun game to watch. I'll certainly be tuning into that as much as I can.
Matt Stafford's like Matt Ryan.
I disagree. Sunday Night Football. The Green Bay Packers are 1-1. They go play the 2-0 San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco's been sold as 3.5-point favorite. The over/under on this game is 49. Packers won against Detroit at home on Monday night. They kind of had an okay game. The first half of the game. Their offense came on in the second half. Obviously, they had laid an egg the first game in New Orleans, or not New Orleans, in Jacksonville, playing New Orleans. San Francisco won kind of a weird game in Philadelphia. They won the game 17-11. I expected a lot of points in that game. It didn't happen. It was kind of a low-scoring game. What do you like? Who do you like in this game?
I got to go with the Packers. San Francisco, still not sold on them 2-0. I understand that, but
until I see some sort of pass rush, they're missing Zadarius Smith, I know. I'm going to go ahead and lay the points 3.5. All right, Monday Night Football, the Philadelphia Eagles. They go play Dallas in division game. Dan's upset already.
Yeah, I hate the NFC East. The teams suck, and they're always on. Always on the primetime games.
It's because Dallas. They're America's team.
Screw that. They're not America's team. The Browns are America's team. If you ask a Steeler fan, the Steelers are America's team.
His TV ratings.
Dallas
is -4 in this game. We mentioned it just a minute ago.
If you're a football fan in the NFL, people watch. It doesn't matter who the teams are.
Yeah, I hear you.
Why do I get to see shit on Monday night?
Yeah, I completely understand. I understand where you're going with this.
You don't. I don't think you do.
I don't care, I guess is a better way to put it. I understand where you are. I mean,
neither one of these teams made the playoffs last year, and they're on Monday night.
But it's a good division game. They're both
Screw that. Their division sucks. It's the worst division in here.
Okay.
What division's worse?
You're complaining about this game. Do you have complaints about Detroit at Green Bay last Monday night?
No, that was a good game.
What? When's the last time Detroit's made it Monday Night Football?
Okay. I couldn't answer that, but you can't argue that was not a good game until, halfway through the third quarter?
I think this is going to be a great game.
This game's going to suck.
I think it's going to be a great
NFC,
game.
Washington made the playoffs with, a 6-4 record?
It's a new year. I mean, Dallas was there were a lot of... It wasn't necessarily the injuries. There were injuries. I mean, Dak went down last week. I think Dallas is... Well, let's talk about Dallas. I mean, Dallas was...
Their defense sucks. Dak is good.
I don't know about that. Dallas had a chance to win that game opening night, Thursday night against Tampa Bay. Obviously, they fell short. Tampa Bay's a very good team.
Their pants.
They went out to L.A. They played the Chargers. They beat the Chargers at the buzzer. The defense has played a lot better than it did last year, the Dan's referencing. Philadelphia, I mean, I like Hurts. Everybody knows that. I stomp for Hurts. Dallas is -4 in this game. What do you think?
Oh, I got to go with Dallas because they're at home.
Dan loves America's team.
No, I fucking hate them. Tell me that.
I'm gonna lay the firepower of the Dallas offense as well at -4. I think it could be a very good game. And I mentioned it earlier with Arizona, with Baltimore, and I'm going to mention it with Dallas. It's the offensive firepower that these teams have. I'm going to lay it -4 with Dallas. That is the entire Sunday, Monday Night Football slate. We got elephant picks to come. Who's your favorite team on the board or your favorite line on the board?
I'm torn between Tampa Bay and Seattle.
I haven't thought about this. I'm looking at the board right now. You probably see me gazing at some of these lines and things like that. Who you going with?
I'll take them both.
Dan likes a parlay. Who is it?
Tampa Bay and Seattle.
Dan likes Tampa Bay and Seattle. I'm going to go with the Raiders -3.5. It's large. Sorry, in-laws. It's the Jacoby Brissett playing quarterback. Tua's not there. I like their defense in Miami, but I like what's going. And the snowball going downhill with the Las Vegas Raiders. They are my elephant pick. Our bonus college pick. I know we're running long here. It is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They're ranked 12th. They go play Wisconsin. Well, they don't go play Wisconsin. They play Wisconsin, 18th ranked Wisconsin. This game is in Soldier Field. It's part of that series that Notre Dame always plays. It was supposed to be a back-and-back. They were supposed to play in Lambeau last year. Obviously, COVID knocked that one out. It is a one-game series. Wisconsin's been installed as a 6-point favorite in this game. Notre Dame. Dan and I are both Notre Dame fans. You guys know that. Notre Dame, we're used to seeing their offensive line dominate. We're used to seeing Notre Dame put players into the National Football League. First-round talent on the offensive line, right and left. It's actually a weak spot of their football team this year.
I mean, it's weak due to injury. I mean, they're missing the left tackle, got hurt against Florida State. You have the stud tight end. I mean, he's going out this year and should be a number one pick, if you ask me. But this one, I got Notre Dame on this.
I hear you. No problem at all. I get it. Another interesting thing in regards to this game, Jack Cohn is a Notre Dame starting quarterback. He is a Wisconsin graduate transfer.
Yes. Graduated.
Bizarrely was a Notre Dame recruit for lacrosse. But he's their quarterback. Here's the thing. I think this is going to be a ground-it-pound-it game. I don't like there to be a lot of points in this game. I like Notre Dame to stay under that line of 6. So Dan and I are both on the Fighting Irish. By the way, Dan and I are both 3-3 on the year in regards to our collegiate picks, so we're middling in regards to that as well. That's your entire Sunday slate. That's Monday slate. Outro. Thank everybody for listening, watching. We've got a different night. My wife and I are going to the Dave Matthews Band show at the Blossom Music Center here in Cuyahoga Falls on Wednesday. Dan and I are going to shoot this thing on Tuesday. So it should be up on Wednesday morning for your viewing pleasure. But thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching.